This is the Pennsylvania Rock Show, where Pennsylvania's underground rock hits hard. Since 2004, we've been unleashing unsigned bands, ripping riffs, and voices that won't be silenced. Radio, podcast, streaming, anytime, anywhere. No polish, no limits, just real rock. Strap in and turn it up. And now, here's your host, Bill Damiano.
Hey, it's Bill. You're tuned in to the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 842A, and we'll get into that in just a second. With me on this segment is Chip from the Charge Ups, which is something. So we just heard at the top of the show, we heard Bob Augustine, Four Leaf Clover. We threw some folk indie there. Then we heard some Americana with 1 Acre West and their song Burn These Memories Down. You heard Josie talk about the intro to the show. And then we heard King for a Day from the Charge Ups. And that leads me to Chip, who's hanging out with me right now. And let's see here. Can you hear me, Chip?
I can hear you great.
Perfect. All right, so I have to put this up on the screen there. And I don't know if you see that. Melina was giving it away, so I borrowed it.
She comes up with so many creative ideas. It's wild.
For anyone who's just listening to the radio or podcast version, it now says Chip and the Pennsylvania Rock Show because Melina said that the Charge Ups didn't need Chip and anymore, and she was trying to give it away. So there it is.
Looks good, if you ask me.
It kind of fits. I like it. It's because I had that so it just flows just like the old band name did.
Yeah.
Hey, so Chip, you guys are releasing on September 4th 3 solo albums and a band full length. Tell us a little bit about that, since we just heard a single off of it.
Yeah, so in leading up to the release of our full band album, which we had been writing for a little while and started recording, we kind of joked around maybe at first about like, hey, we all write songs. Wouldn't it be cool if we all came out with solo albums? And like, then we thought, okay, do solo albums at the same time. Like, yeah, Kiss did solo albums at the same time, but they didn't do solo albums from each band member plus a full band album. And we're like, has anyone done this? And then no matter how much we researched, we could not find a band that did solo albums from each member and a full band album at the same time. So we thought this would be a really cool way to make some music history and do it right here out of Pennsylvania.
So you guys, for the last couple of months, and this is probably a Melina question from what you said earlier, but you guys have this marketing, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's so annoying, but I can't look away. Which is good because it's pulling people to you.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think the annoying part is a better question from Melina, who you'll be talking to later tonight. But, it's kind of like she has adopted a heel character as if she was a professional wrestler, or to apply it to music, Ronnie Radke. She's kind of like the Ronnie Radke of Pittsburgh music, who, might get under your skin a little bit, but as you say, you in a way you kind of can't wait to see what she says next.
At one point, I actually figured out what was going on, and she didn't respond, but I sent her a message. I'm like, "Is this a double heel turn?" So tell us a little bit about King Chip and what to expect on your solo album.
So yeah, King Chip, and I think you could probably describe all the solo albums this way. It's kind of like, what would the Charge Up sound like if Melina or Nolan or myself was king And I think that the answer to that question comes out in each solo album. And as you'll hear on September 4th, when they all come out, they all sound quite a bit different. You won't hear any Limp Bizkit influences on my solo album, but you will on Melina's. So as far as King Chip goes, I think that people who were fans of a previous band of mine, Chip Demonic, and who still ask about a reunion and new music and say they like the old music, I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised because there's more than just a few echoes of the Chip Demonic sound in the songs that you'll hear on King Chip. But you'll also hear kind of like the pop punk metal mashup that's kind of become the signature of what used to be called Chip of the Charge Ups as well. So I think you're going to see a good mix of what you've heard from me in the past and with a little more unrestrained energy on parts as well.
So, like, you mentioned Kiss and some other bands. Like, at what point did it click? This is what we want to do. Like, what was the impetus to get you to this point?
It really started as almost kind of like a joke or one of those things, do you ever have one of those moments where, yeah, I should do that someday, yeah, I should, go to Aruba for vacation or, yeah, I should, whatever, dig for dinosaur bones or something just outrageous and it's aspirational that you think, it's nice to say, but you might never do. So we kind of joked about it and it kept coming up over and over again to the point where maybe it started as a joke, but then some of us took it more seriously and then others of us took it more seriously and we're like, oh yeah, I wrote this song, I recorded this song. And then it finally came to the point where we were just about done with the full band album, King for a Day. And we said, okay, based on where we are now, a September release sounds great for it. How close are we with these solo albums? Can we get this done on time? And then it was like, oh man, I don't know if we can, we're like, okay, we gotta get this done by, I forget what the date was, the end of May. And we're like, can we do that? And it's like, oh wow, that'd be crazy if we could do that. That'd be a lot of work. I don't know if we could do that. But then we started working at it. And when we started working at it with a deadline in mind, that's how we knew it was real and it was going to happen.
So I kind of looked off for a moment. Don't think I wasn't paying attention. I clicked because Nolan commented, and I want to bring it up on the screen, but apparently that's broken right now. But Nolan says they are not ready for the energy of King Chip.
There is a lot of energy right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, you're going to feel it.
So I feel like at some point in the beginning of the band, I mean, your domain and most of your usernames were the Charge Ups. So was this something you had in mind from the beginning?
Sort of, yeah. It was from the very
as far as
beginning.
The name change.
I could at that point in time see it happening. I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with my name and not anyone else's name being in the band. And that was the case with Chip Demonic as well, but I could never convince those guys to adopt a band name. So, I feel like everyone deserves credit. I feel like, I never would want a band member to feel like they're less valuable than the person who has the name in the band. So early on, I envisioned that. And as we grew as a band, the contributions of everyone continued to grow. And I mean, if you think about it, the Chip and the Charge Ups was started in 2018. Nolan and Melina were both teenagers at that time, but they have like blossomed into bona fide rock stars, and they don't deserve to take a backseat to anyone. They are each in their own right rock stars individually and rock stars as part of our collective. And I think it honors, their talent by stripping my name from the band name and us just going as the charge ups, because I think we're so strong as a unit and what we all bring to the table that everyone should feel like they are an equal contributor and equally valuable.
I just have one more question for you. In case you guys haven't
Sure.
figured out, we're breaking the show up just like the solo albums. Each segment is going to be one member of the band. So the question, we're going to play 1, 2, 3, Sweet Apathy. And if you could just give me a real quick synopsis of what we're going to hear.
Yep. So the music is inspired by early Metallica, and the lyrics are inspired by modern day the stupidity of modern day influencer culture. So you have like music inspired by 1981, lyrics inspired by 2026. They meet in the middle in a big collision.
Hey, Chip, I want to thank you for hanging out with me for just a little bit tonight. And for those of you that are watching live, Nolan will be here in about 13 minutes. So depending on where you are, if you're on YouTube, you're going to have to go to a different video. If you're on Twitch or Facebook, Facebook's a different video. Twitch, Kick, and my website, you can stay where you are. Otherwise, you got to find a new video. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and listen to 1, 2, 3, Sweet Apathy, and I will be back with Nolan shortly.